Yo, what is going on? Pace 2024. How are you guys doing? We're gonna be playing Penny's Big Breakaway, any percent restricted. And my name's Emerald. I also run the game, but we're gonna pass it right back over to Odme because he's the runner for this. Odme, go ahead. GL. Yeah, this is kind of the joke run, you know?
Yeah, and like we turn this corner. Oh wait, we got something here. This might be cool. Okay.
Oh, what is that?
So this is the cosmic string.
Wait. Yo.
And now that we have the cosmic string, Penny's yo-yo can do a lot more cool stuff than just run and jump. So you can dash, you can ride, and that's basically what we're gonna be pairing a lot, is just dashing and riding. And then we can also do a swing right here to just skip this entire tutorial section almost. Right here, and we just get through the first level in about 25 seconds. So
yeah, and that swing, going on that rooftop there saves so much time. So much time.
Now we can do the first real level, 1-1. Early runners of this game love this level.
Oh man, Vanilla Town. Vanilla Town is pretty crazy because like there's a bunch of really advanced strats that you can do that save like barely any time. Like the top level runners do it, but there's not a lot of checkpoints that you're going through during the actual speedrun, so it just wastes an insane amount of time.
Yeah, 1-1 in particular is just, it's one of the most grinded levels in the whole game, because when the game first came out, you know, people found out it had time trials. Also zipline skip coming up here. Should be good.
Let's go. Nice.
So yeah, everybody loved playing 1-1 when the game came out, and then they kind of just forgot the rest of the game existed. And they just they grinded 1-1 to dust and then didn't play the rest of the game. And I decided, hey, I'm gonna do full runs of this game like a real speedrunner. Instead of just grinding time trials.
Yeah.
No diss to IO runners. I like full runs more, obviously.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the runner.
I've grinded many an IO in this game, of course. Nice little elevator skip here. I think that elevator, if you go straight to it, it's not too much slower, but that little skip there is a tiny bit faster. One last zipline skip here, and that is 1-1.
Very nice.
114, not too bad. So yeah, Vanilla Town, I'm going to be playing it pretty safe for the most part. There are still some risky strats I'm going to go for. Like, coming up in 1-2 here is probably going to be the hardest strat in Vanilla Town. But I really just want to get out of here unscathed for the most part, because Vanilla Town is one of the scariest parts of the run, believe it or not, despite being the first world, because it's just so optimized compared to almost everything else in the game, because, you know, it's so reset heavy. And because of that, it's very hard.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's not get captured here real quick. Okay.
So those are the main enemies of the game. They don't do damage, but if you get caught by a certain amount of them with the portrait there, then you get captured and it respawns you at a checkpoint. It's basically like dying. So.
Gate skip coming up here. You can just kind of jump right over all of these. We got another zipline skip coming up here. And then after we get over here, okay, I nailed this. Good. All right, nice.
That's good, yeah.
And now that that is done, we have one of the probably the hardest trick in Vanilla Town, at least by my standards, coming up here. This is just a huge gap jump that saves quite a bit of time. So I might need to lock in a bit here. Nice.
Nice. Wow, he made that look really easy. That's a difficult jump.
I was really scared of that because that is like, oh my god. Let's not get captured, please. Penguins, go away.
There's so many.
I don't like penguins, man. I made it through. I don't want to get captured because if you get captured, it's basically like a death, and it takes you back to the last checkpoint. So
yeah,
a little fumble at the end there, but I got the trick, so that's
well
all.
done.
I'm
well done.
happy about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like you're getting a pretty good idea from Vanilla Town of like the general movement of this game. Momentum is pretty important. You can see from like the really far drops into the swings gives us a lot of like momentum to carry a lot of distance with our swings, and that's how we're able to skip those big gaps. And then you even saw Admi do kind of a stall in the air to maintain even more momentum, which we'll talk more about later because it's used in a lot of different places.
Oh, Penny, what are you doing?
Oh man, this is a classic Penny moment actually.
My yo-yo is stuck up there. I'm gonna restart.
Yeah, that's probably the better way to go about it.
Yeah, sometimes the yo-yo can just be a bit jank and get stuck like on way above you, and you just have to kind of deal with it until it comes back. I think a reset would just be the fastest way to go here because the top path in 1-3 is definitely the way to go. Because you can, if you get a lot of speed here, you can just like go up on this building, hopefully. All right, and now that we're up here, we can just basically skip over the entire level. This doesn't save like a whole lot of time, but it does defeat a lot of, it does defeat like kind of the purpose of like grabbing the burger upgrade, which we'll still see at the end of this level. Basically, there's a lot of power-ups in this game that just give Penny's yo-yo some extra little sauce to it. And one of them is the hamburger, which basically just makes you like a juggernaut yo-yo, and you can just roll through everything almost.
Yeah, it's like a big bowling ball, and it crashes into the breakable blocks that you can see right there, the orange and blue.
Yeah, 1-3, honestly, a pretty standard level. It's not nearly as crazy as 1-2. There's not like any huge skips besides just going up the top path. Yeah, honestly, I was just glad to get out 1-2 alive. That was definitely the level I was most scared of. 1-1 as well, but you can definitely play a bit safer in 1-1. Now we got the burger here, and we can just smash right through this. And I guess one thing we haven't talked about yet is the busker bonus at the end of every level.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, at the end of each level, you want to do, if you're going for like a high score in this game, you can do a certain amount of, it's a quick time event essentially, and if you do that, you get extra points, but those are really slow. So what I just do is I wiggle the stick back and forth and just mash all the buttons, and that gets it wrong as soon as I can.
A little bit of time.
However, it is completely random what busker RNG you get, like the pattern. So sometimes you'll just be forced to rotate your stick the wrong way. And that can be weird because you can't just buffer that input. You have to stop what you're doing and then spin the wrong way. And sometimes my brain will just be like, okay, it's telling me to spin that way, so I have to spin the other way, I guess.
It makes you have to pay attention, and also if you do like just spam inputs a little too early, then it'll lock you out of doing like spinning the other way. So then you have to just sit there and wait it out.
Yeah, you gotta lock in. That's going to be happening a lot throughout this run. Penny is a hard game.
Yeah, so that's the thing. We haven't really gotten to it yet, but this game has, other than, you know, between the levels with the busker and stuff, there is zero downtime during these levels. You are just zooming as much as you possibly can. There are a couple of sections like that are auto-scrolly.
Oh, my fucking, sorry.
That was a good save. No, that was a good save. There are a couple sections that are auto-scrolly, but for the most part, it's just constant movement, which is why Penny is so sick.
Yeah, it's such a fun game, but it can be omega tilting because you're moving so fast all the time, and if you make one mistake, Penny's walking speed is so abysmally slow. That's kind of like why we were just dogging on it at the beginning of the game, because before you get the Cosmic String, Penny's not a very speedy girl. Like, she is very slow, her default walking speed. So making any mistake and just slowing yourself down to a crawl is very, very tilting. Got a little mini skip going up here, just kind of defeats the purpose of going all the way across in a circle there. And now, assuming I get the zipline skip here, there's going to be a little clip coming up here. Okay, I can get it. I can explain it after. So my wheel is clipped into the ground here, and that just clips me through that gate.
Oh, nice.
Because this game is well made. So essentially what happened there is I did something called a quick ride. After you do a dash, obviously it's good to pair it. Oh, there's a spin right there. Yep. You pair it into a ride so you can keep all your momentum. But if you do the ride inputs very quickly after doing a dash, you'll just go into it. You'll go into the animation a bit faster. And if you're really high up, that will just clip you through the ground, and it changes the wheel's hitbox a bit, allowing you to do weird stuff like that, clipping through gates. That's like one of the only parts where it's really useful. It's just kind of a niche little trick. This is probably some of the most downtime you'll ever get in this game, by the way. This boss, there's actually a strat that was recently discovered where you can skip this entire boss. I think it saves about 25 seconds.
Yep.
It was found so recently, though, that I just wanted to keep it safe and show off the boss.
It is a pretty risky thing to go for and pretty easy to mess up.
And also, this boss is one of the best songs in the game, so we gotta show it off. This soundtrack, by the way, amazing. It's one of the best OSTs I've heard for an indie game, honestly.
Yeah, it's insanely good. Shoutouts to Sean Bialo and T. Lopes.
Yeah, the devs, for those who don't know, the developers of Sonic Mania actually made this game, so they really wanted to appeal to speedrunners.
Yeah.
I can probably talk more about their involvement in the community and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, one of the coolest things about Evening Star, which is the dev team behind this game, is that as soon as it came out, there was like 3 people from the dev team in the speedrunning Discord answering questions or like listening to our concerns. And a lot of like the first update, that major update that came out for this game was based off of like things that they heard from the speedrunning community. So it's super, super dope when you have a dev team that wants to be involved with that and wants to help grow the speedrunning scene rather than try to hinder it by like patching everything out. So
yeah, and
shout out to Evening Star for real.
Yeah, Evening Star is great, and it is nice that the devs were interacting with the community because there were some concerns that people had with the game, just all the zips and stuff, and they still kept those in because people, they didn't want them patched out. We just wanted to have a split, so they kept the zips in, but they did patch some other things. Like there's a skip in 4.2 that you can just skip basically the entire level, or at least half of it. This is 1.6, by the way. I know it says 2.1, but this is basically Vanilla Town DLC, because this is just as hard as the rest of Vanilla Town. This 2.1 here, this strat over here where you just like ride on the water, this is actually also found pretty recently. You can basically just skip the entire level and beat it in like under a minute, but the problem with water in this game is if you fall in it, you die instantly.
Yes, yeah. It's really difficult. It's and also these re-rides that you're doing, you can infinitely re-ride on these liquid surfaces. The different liquids have different like properties, but water you just fall in insta.
Yeah, thankfully I got that first try. Really glad about that. It doesn't look that scary. It's just the fact that like it's the risk you run of doing that, where if you fall in the water, you do have to restart at the beginning. There's no checkpoints. But 51, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
2-1 under a minute.
Very well done. Yeah, and that skip saves so much time. It skips so much of the level.
Yeah, 2.2 is a lot more of a standard level. We get to see a lot more of, the intended route. And that's the great thing about Restricted is you really get to let all the levels show off. There are still a lot of big skips, as we'll see in Zafara coming up. Em loves Zafara.
Oh man,
it's a great world. But yeah, the thing about any percent that's like unrestricted is like while the zips are really cool, you don't really get to show the full potential of the game and like its movement, because what a zip is essentially, we never actually really talked about it, is standing at a ledge with your yo-yo and you do a double jump into a ride, and if you do it like very precisely, basically it just like sends you flying across the level. And people have found ways to do it vertically as well to gain insane amounts of height.
Yeah.
I didn't swing there. That can happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes this yo-yo just doesn't let you swing. It's really bizarre.
Luckily, we have a very convenient.
Oh yeah, the checkpoints in 2.2 are so nice.
This one's really clutch. Yeah. There are some levels that are later on in this game that the checkpoints are not as forgiving, and it's very easy to lose like a minute plus.
Yeah, like right here, I could also die here, but thankfully, checkpoint right before it. So I try to do a really late swing here so I can get a lot of speed on the water. I'm going to try to do some vectoring here to keep as much speed as I can. However, the camera changes can make it a bit difficult, so if I lose a bunch of speed, I'll just hit the ring. And they're basically like speed pads in Sonic games where they cap your speed. So if you have a lot of speed on the water, you don't want to hit them because it'll just slow you down.
Yeah. Yep. More on the vectoring. It's just like basically if you're riding at an angle and don't let Penny ride straight, then she doesn't lose the speed as quickly. So
not a bad 2-2 right there.
Yeah, that was good.
And now we're coming up on our first real boss here. Wow. Yeah, we're coming up on our first like real boss. And for all the bosses in this game, or at least the final stages of each world, except for World 1 and World 10, it's actually faster by about 2 seconds to exit to the main menu, like the story mode level select, than it is to just continue, because it skips a cutscene where it kind of just shows where Penny's going off to next. And it's a very small but really easy time save you can get. The Sheila boss fight here is honestly not kind of a boss. The thing I love about this game is every time Penny meets like a new boss, she just kind of like almost helps them out with stuff instead of really fighting them, and they're just total homies after.
Yeah.
Like right here, we're just repairing Sheila's boat so that we can travel to Zafaro.
Yep, while Sheila's attacking us.
Yeah. He's got beef for like no. Okay, I wouldn't say no reason because we never really talked about the deep lore of Penny's big breakaway.
Yeah,
I think
true.
you can explain that.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you saw that like Penny at the beginning of the game got that string in the back alley. That's the cosmic string. It's what brought her yo-yo to life and gave her the cool powers. Basically, Penny lives in a world where there is this big gala that happens every year, and there's a huge audition, and she was going to audition to be in this gala. And during her audition, her magical yo-yo went crazy and ate off the Emperor's clothes during the audition, and then obviously Emperor not so happy about that.
Yeah, and now because of it, Penny is a convicted felon, and we are on the run. So those penguins that tried to attack us, those are the cops.
Those are the cops, yeah. We're running away from the fuzz, or in this case, the feathers, I guess.
All right, decent tides well, and now we're coming up on Zafara. I might need to focus a bit here. It's honestly, it's not too crazy, but basically what I'm going to be doing is called reriding, like almost infinite reriding. You saw it a bit on the water, but with quicksand, if you ride for like even a second, Penny immediately gets off the wheel. Em can elaborate a bit further as I go up the tower here.
Yeah, right here, well,
oh my god.
To explain this right now, obviously climbing some of the outside collision here, and we're going to be getting ourselves higher up so that we can re-ride basically the rest of the stage. Yeah, so again, the liquids have different properties. You can fall off into the quicksand actually once before refreshing on touching the ground before you die. So if you fall in once, you're okay. Fall in a second. Oh, there. Well,
that
okay.
Sucks. I literally jumped as soon as I hit the quicksand when I tried to do a double jump. That was really unfortunate. Three ones are really short level when you're skipping all of it, but if you die there, it's very punishing. So you gotta climb this whole tower again.
Yeah, there is no checkpoints and stuff like that. But and another thing too that makes this more difficult for Admi is actually we found that different frame rates affect how easy re-rides are. And Admi plays in 60 FPS. The higher the refresh rate, the easier it is to do re-rides.
Yeah, right before we were doing this run, M got to play a bit of 60, and he was a huge
not like
fan.
it. I didn't. No, I don't do that. No 60, not me.
Oh, I got a quick ride there that actually saved me from hitting the quicksand.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was really nice. Now we just kind of cruise to the end. There is still a risk of quicksand here, but thankfully, I guess I'll get my jump.
Yeah.
And every time you touch the normal ground outside of quicksand, you refresh your one jump you get. So it's very safe towards the end here. Yeah, second try, one death. That's still pretty solid.
Yeah, not bad. Let's go.
Yeah, honestly, World 3 in general is just full of skips. I think 3-3 is probably the... I had to really think there. Sorry.
The dang spin thing.
But yeah, World 3 overall, 3-1 and 3-2 are very skip heavy. 3-3 is kind of like a bit of a mix on. That's more of 3-4. 3-3 is really just kind of you're going the intentional way the most time. But yeah, 3-2 we got another skip. There's actually two different ways you can do this. This one's a bit faster, but it doesn't really look as flashy, I feel like. The other one, you literally go up to another corner, a bit like in the left side of the level, and you just mash the hell out of your controller until you climb to the top of the tower, and you just go over here. It's like maybe 5 seconds slower, if I had to guess. But it looks really cool.
It is really cool. I like it.
And for a while before this version was found, I just called 3-2 mashing simulator because that's literally all it was.
Yeah, when you're doing the wall kicks, because they're actually also called wall kicks in this game. Shout out to Mario. That you have to mash it with A, and you can also mash it with the bumpers. So it's like really easy to climb it if you're just like kind of like rattling the controller back and forth and jumping like that.
Yeah, and I guess this game is a very simple control scheme. You only really press like 2 buttons most of the time. The Y button never gets used unless you're in a buster bonus or you're retrying in like a time attack. But there are 3 different jump buttons. You can press A, L, or R, and they all let you jump. That can sometimes really hurt you if you fat finger one of them and get a double jump on accident. But it does help for that mashing skip that we used to do.
Yeah.
And now we got another power-up coming up here. Any fans of Mario Galaxy 2 will like this one. This is essentially the Dash Pepper from that game. What it does is it just lets you ride on quicksand forever until it runs out, basically. And this is where quick rides really come in handy, because if you do a normal ride on a Pepper, it takes a bit to rev up and then get you going. But as you see here, I just get to dash right into a ride, and it get started instantly. That was a really nice find, especially for this level, because you use so many of these peppers.
Yeah, there's no way to do re-rides here because there's a lot of verticality with this. You have to go up the ramps with the hot pepper. So.
Yeah, and I'm vectoring here a bit just so we can skip that other pepper up on that ledge. This is a little bit faster.
Yeah, the vectoring
Oh,
speeds you up.
wow. Okay, I gotta go back and get it because I like barely ran out of pepper time as soon as I hit the quicksand. And no matter what happens, you'll just get kicked off. Like it's pretty rough. Thankfully, I landed up like on that ledge. So.
Oh yeah, because one of the things that happens a lot of times in Penny is if she lands like on those like ramped surfaces, she'll just go into like a ragdoll state where you can't control her, and then you just fall down.
It almost happened in the tutorial level. I would have been like pretty tilted.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably just do a normal ride here. I'm definitely doing a normal one here.
Oh my god.
I'm very
the bulls
good.
are out
I'm
for
so good at this game, man. Yeah, those bowls are really weird. I think I might need to start quick riding there now. I'm probably just gonna take the safe route.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I probably could re-ride there, but the thing about the pepper is, while it is kind of slow sometimes, it is much faster than re-riding for such long distances.
Yeah.
Because you don't really gain speed when you're re-riding. It kind of resets you to what your speed already was before. Yeah, that was a pretty rough 3-3, but Safari is one of the tougher stages for sure.
Absolutely. And it's crazy because we have Safara, and then right after Safara we have Moko Bene, which is a true gauntlet in this game.
It's rough, man. And now we got 3-4. This is one of my favorite stages in the whole game for sure. It's not very skip heavy except for like maybe the very end, but you kind of just like, it really does a good job of just showing off all the game's movement, like re-riding and then all the intended mechanics too. And the devs were super nice to keep re-riding in here because Zafara would be minutes longer probably.
Oh yeah, it would have been a lot longer.
M was a huge fan of 3-1 until re-riding was found.
Yeah, I won't lie, because early on we weren't like very privy to the re-rides yet, and I was grinding 3-1 so much. I probably put like 7 hours into that stage, and then I was like, actually it's better to just ride on the quicksand. I was like, you know what? All right.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean at the beginning of the run, I did kind of take a little shot at ILs for some reason, but honestly, I'm kind of a hypocrite because when this game came out, I was very addicted to grinding time attack. Like
oh yeah,
this was the only game I played for maybe the first 2 weeks of its release. I was addicted.
One of the best things about this game is the in-game leaderboards for the like time trials and stuff. So it really creates a lot of early competition, and honestly, that really expedited the growth of this speedrun. Because a lot of people just want to get the best time, and of course, like the speedrunning Discord is great. We have a lot of like resources in there, and people posting their ILs so that everybody can learn how those ILs are done.
Yeah. Now we just got a nice little pepper ride here. I will have to re-ride for a little bit to get to the very end, but it shouldn't be too bad. We're actually gonna get a lot of speed off these re-rides because I'm gonna go downhill, which will be pretty nice to see. Just use our momentum here. Just gonna double jump here. Double jumping definitely ensures your safety a lot of times because it doesn't make you like drop like a rock into quicksand or lava or anything. So it makes re-riding a lot easier on 60 FPS especially.
Yeah.
And now that basically all of Zafara is done, we get to fight the boss, the inventor of Electricity 2 himself, Mr. Q. M loves this guy's design.
No, I would not like to comment on his design, and you'll see why momentarily.
Yeah, so who let the dogs out is the only question I'm asking for this boss right here.
Dude, he just has flippers, man. it's a little bothering.
Yeah, so
with the toe rings and everything, man.
So this fight, if you've ever played 8-Ball on Game Pigeon before, wow, I messed up. I was too busy making that stupid joke. Yeah, how this works is he's gonna shoot. He's basically gonna play a bit of Ganondorf tennis with us. We have to hit this ball back and forth, and what that's gonna do is hit him a second time this time. Okay. I lured him over to that hole right there, and I'm just gonna do this real quick. There's a lot going on here. So basically, what happens here is he jumps to a hole, and we lure him to it basically, and then you hit. What's supposed to happen is you hit one of his heads onto the field. And you kind of have to just hit it into the hole, and it kind of gives you an indicator of where to hit it, thankfully. It's not, like, random. And what I just did there is there's a giant invisible floor on top of the arena. And basically what you do there is you just eliminate any sort of RNG you can have in this fight, where whether he jumps or spins first. It is still technically faster for him to spin first, so that you can line him up perfectly with a hole. But if he does jump first and do spins later, it kind of just negates the RNG aspect, which is really nice. Because he gets stuck here when he tries to spin, so he doesn't like go all the way around.
Yeah, it's very likely if he spins second that he could end up on the other side of the table, and that you can move him back kind of close to the holes by getting hit intentionally, but it just wastes way more time. So
yeah, there was before this trick was found, this fight was a run killer.
yeah, I think this is the heaviest instance of RNG in the run, right?
There's one more. Industrial.
Oh, yeah.
That stupid robot.
Yeah, that's right.
This is kind of a very scuffed. I think I should be able to fit behind the ball. We're good.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Whew. Okay.
Good.
I was really glad I got that invisible floor strat because he spun twice.
Yeah, that would have been really unlucky if you missed it.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
Here we
molto
go.
bene.
This is probably going to be one of the places where M does most of the talking. I won't have to lock in too much here, but there will be some points where I definitely gotta stay quiet because this is one of, if not, to some, it's the hardest stage of the entire run. It has 3 levels, and they are all just like, they're probably some of the hardest levels just ever in this game.
Yeah. But the trade-off for that is the movement in this stage is really cool.
It's amazing.
It's really good.
It's like, it describes Penny perfectly. It's like, it's so fun, but my god is it tilting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of messed up there after trying to do a swing up here, but it's okay. Very quick backup. And thankfully, Molto Bene is pretty forgiving with checkpoints. It gives you a lot of them. I'm just going to do a sleep bounce here. Whenever we talked about this mechanic, if you throw your yo-yo out while grounded and just jump on it, it gives you an extra bounce. I'm going to ride on this ramp here, just go up the wall and skip like a lot. Molto Bene is very skip heavy, but it's very hard to really notice if you're not paying too much attention, because you're not saving like crazy amounts of time with the skips, but they are very apparent.
It's basically us just trying to make shortcuts where we would normally have to go all the way around.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to climb walls in this game, as you've probably already seen. Sometimes you'll just like wall kick once and then double jump and then bounce up, or you can just do a normal bounce and get up just fine. And they're very situational a lot of the time, especially in places like Molto Bene, where you have to get a lot of height. Yeah, we should just be able to ride all the way to the end. And the way lava works is it doesn't pop you off instantly like quicksand, but it doesn't let you ride forever like water. So you do have to pay attention to how long you've been riding. I think you can last about 2 seconds on the lava before it boots you off, so you have to make sure to hop off. That was a good 4-1 though.
Yeah, that was solid.
Good start.
Awesome.
And yeah, that was just the start.
Yeah, there's still 2 more.
Yeah, 4-2 is probably the hardest level in the game for me. It's a rough one.
Yeah, it's quite long. We start out pretty early here by getting a wall climb, which isn't really that bad, but it's just, you know, lack of checkpoints problem.
Yeah, and the skip I was talking about earlier, what I would have done if I were to go for it was I would have just gone straight to the left, and there's just a weird hitbox by that mountain that just takes you straight across the, like, half the level basically. And it saves insane amounts of time. But I think 4-2's kind of gotten to the point where if you're not zipping, it's about the same speed now as doing that skip before the update. Oh, I gotta get back up.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of times we really want to position Penny in a place where she gets a lot of height so that she can drop really far and get those big swings into rides to get a bunch of speed.
Awesome bombs here. These cycles are honestly pretty nice considering I messed up, but I'm definitely getting this checkpoint here because
yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
A scary part.
You can save a little bit more time to get like a really crazy swing by skipping that checkpoint, but it's definitely a lot safer to do this.
Like a lot of top runners love just skipping checkpoints whenever necessary because I mean they do lose time. It's if you're doing real attempts, it's kind of not worth it to get checkpoints because a lot of time they are just slower if they're not in the way like this one coming up here. But it does add to the risk of losing your run.
Yeah. Also, I love that strat where you get to spam jump up that
yeah.
ramp. It's like one of the few places we get to use it. We get to use it again coming up, like right here, but that's really it.
Coming up on the end, pretty close here. One last checkpoint, which is really nice. They really throw checkpoints at you here because they knew this is like when the difficulty really ramps up.
Oh,
Wow.
okay, yep, there you go.
As you can see, we are back maybe 10 seconds. Because this game is very nice.
Yeah, Penny is an extremely punishing speedrunner. But that's honestly part of it being so punishing is also kind of why it feels so rewarding.
Oh yeah, if you're on fire in this game, like you're moving. It is amazing. Got a baby dash there. That can happen if you dash with a lot of speed. It just kind of just drops you straight down, which is weird. But besides that quick death, that was a really solid 4-2.
Yeah. And you got the skip right at the end too, which can be a little bit weird with the camera.
Yeah. Now we got another demon coming up, 4-3.
4-3. Oh man.
So right off the bat, I'm not even gonna go straight. I'm just gonna go straight to the left here, and just climb up this wall and skip pretty much this entire beginning section. I think 4-3 is probably the most skip heavy of all the levels, because I mean it's kind of just going above the beaten path really, rather than just skipping all of it. But we'll see some skips later on.
Yeah. This was another one of those ILs that I loved grinding.
Oh yeah,
very
I was a
early
huge
on.
fan of 4-3. Any mistake though, I was raging.
Yeah. So we're going over the wall here, skipping that checkpoint.
Oh my god, wow.
You barely nicked that.
Yeah, and it puts you right back here at the start.
Yeah.
Those honestly, this isn't even the worst you'll see of like rocks and meteors and stuff here. It's
Oh yeah, we
World-
still got World's Edge.
yeah, World's Edge is rough. It's some of the worst mechanics in this game, but that was kind of just a skill issue running right into that. I did have to deal with the camera changing, but if I had a bit more height there, I definitely could have saved it by just swinging. I probably should have jumped a bit earlier. That's okay.
Yeah.
Not
It's all good. I mean, that is like a really easy mistake to make there.
Yeah, I'm playing it very safe now.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, there's a very nice checkpoint here. This is like barely any time to get. And you just go right back to where you were going to go anyway.
And again, like a lot of the the way that we do it as speedrunners is a lot of the routes where we would normally have to go around, like we would go around on the left side casually to make it over here. You just cut the line. Go right through the middle. Big jump.
Nice.
Yeah, now you get to chill. That checkpoint is like, all right, I've made it.
Yeah. I mean, I've still died here before because the yo-yo just doesn't want to cooperate. That's a pretty big downside to this game is it's got some jank.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not the most polished game.
the yo-yo can be a little bit complicated at times. We saw it in Vanilla Town when it got stuck. I mean, it can get stuck.
Yeah.
You can get dropped out of the ride here and sometimes fall in the lava.
Yeah, if you do a quick ride, especially with the pepper, there are times where you'll just fall through the floor. It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
That death was honestly, that was a pretty rough death, about 30 seconds, but we're out of multiple.
You made it out. That's a big deal. And I feel like the devs knew that this stage was really hard, and they were just like, all right, no boss fight.
Yep.
You deserved it. You get to go on.
Yeah, and there is still a cutscene, so we do just return to menu. And then we got Bubblin'. Bubblin's still pretty difficult. It's definitely got, it's not nearly as crazy punishing as Multibene is. And it's not like, I wouldn't say it's as hard either, but it does have some difficulty to it. Because like the deeper you get in the game, like it's just gonna get more difficult. This has some of the later levels, casually especially, they got some crazy difficulty curves.
Yeah.
Bubblin', however, one of the best songs in this game. Like I love this song.
It's like hanging beach viber.
Yeah, even though we're like
At a water park.
what's the bathroom?
Yeah. Yeah. There's like faucets and such.
Okay, that was not making it. Had like no speed there, so I just took that. Yeah, Bubblin', it's kind of chill for the most part. It's just when you get towards the end of each of these levels, it can get pretty scary. The beginning of 5-2 is also pretty rough, but it shouldn't be a struggle, right, Em?
Nah, well, I don't like talking about 5-2. I don't like that stage very much. There's like that is one of those stages where it is very punishing to die. There's like a minute.
Big zipline skip from up here. Nice.
Nice, very good.
Okay, that's one of two big zipline skips we'll see here.
Yeah, and it didn't look like it was like a crazy amount of distance for the ziplines, but when you're on the ziplines, they're just so
They're
slow.
insane. You saw it in one boss. Like they're the most downtime you get in this game. You can take one.
Yeah, and some of the zip lines aren't as bad as others. Like some of them are kind of fast, but like that one definitely is an extremely slow one.
Yeah. Honestly, the main goal of that zipline skip is just kind of line yourself up with it like halfway through. And if you're like perpendicular to it, you'll almost grab it like no problem. And now we can just skip like hitting a screw here by just going over the top. Very easy landing.
Nice.
That was a really clean 5-2.
Yeah.
Good.
Also, Bubbling, like, it introduces a couple of mechanics that are unique to it with the water pipes as well as the diving boards.
Oh.
And we're going to see that, the diving boards and stuff to use here for Skip in 5-2 after a big gap jump.
Yeah, diving boards were the bane of my existence for a while until I found out, I think, you actually told me about holding A makes you go higher off diving boards. And when I found that out, I was like, Bubbling is the game.
It's a game changer.
The game has changed.
Yeah, it makes it so much better.
God, come on. The pipes here can be really weird. Sometimes you can just enter them from the side, and sometimes you just won't be allowed to at all. But thankfully that one wasn't like too rough. Come on.
So up here we try to get a bunch of speed, and then we can carry our momentum. Taking it a little bit safer, make sure we don't.
Yeah.
I don't blame you on that. That's a big that to take if you die there.
Should work.
Nice.
That diving board had me resetting so many times.
Yeah. And that saved a bunch of time too.
Yeah, aside from holding A on diving boards, the further, I mean, it's just like real life almost. The further you are on the diving board, the higher you will go. And
yes.
You just can add on to that by holding A. Now we just kind of go over the top here. Nice little...
Yeah, Bubbling, we're trying to not interact with as much of these water pipes down here as possible. So our goal is just get up on the roof and just keep riding. Yeah,
the geysers, the way they're moving, they will send you that way. And if that's down, you will die. Or just get stuck in the water if they're above ground. Like if I hit any of these geysers here, I'm just dead. You cannot get out of them. Yeah, 5-2 is a pretty short level, but if you die at the beginning there, it can be really rough. We're at the top. A pretty good Bubbling so far. 5-3 is kind of like a jank level. I'm not like a huge fan of it because there's just so many spikes everywhere, and you're kind of moving up and down a lot almost while still going just across the level. Mm-hmm. It's pretty weird. They just added spikes here for no reason.
If you got time, we actually do have a donation that came in.
All right.
From the Death Board, $15.
Okay.
They said, all in on Odd Me, please.
Let's go.
Shout out to Death Lord.
Yeah, Death Lord, seen him frequent my chat pretty often, so
let's thank you
for that. Honestly, 5-3, it's kind of just, after you've explained everything about Bubbling, we do get to use the dash pepper a bit more here, and there's a pretty big swing coming up after, which is nice.
Yeah.
I do like that grab a lot. If you have a lot of speed and you grab that, like, from the back, it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, one thing we haven't really mentioned is
the right stick.
The ways that you throw the yo-yo, yeah. So you can just pretty standardly press X and Penny will throw her yo-yo in the direction she's facing. But you can also use the analog stick, your right stick, at any time to throw the yo-yo in any direction.
Yeah, it's
on a dime.
It's very rarely that Penny throws it back in this game.
Yeah, well, in that instance she does, and she does it well, you know?
Winning the talent show for a reason.
Yeah. But yeah, those upwards water pipes are really good too. You can like kind of spam the jump there. And the lower that you are, the more height that you can get, as long as the water pillar is high enough.
And yeah, I guess another little niche thing about slopes in this game is if you do a ride on a slope, you actually just saw it right there, it sends you backwards when you go off another one. That can be really annoying.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to gain some distance. Here's the other zipline skip. Okay.
All right.
Very glad I got that.
Yeah, nice.
This one's still pretty slow, but that's like the most amount of distance you can gain. And ziplines are jank too, because sometimes if you jump off one, they will just send you backwards for no reason.
Yeah, I honestly didn't want to mention it because I didn't want to speak it into existence.
That's like one of the last times it can happen, thankfully. So I was able to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been many bad deaths in the Penny community from getting thrown backwards on zipline.
It's
all right, that's 5-3.
Yeah, and I guess we did talk about the talent show earlier. We actually get to square off against Eddie himself in this boss fight. It's pretty anticlimactic. He's kind of a joke.
There's not a lot going on this fight.
Yeah, this fight, if we watch the cutscene here, they only really fight because Penny just kind of ran into him on accident, and he's just like, all right, I'm gonna take out the spell on myself. He's kind of a sumo wrestler, and the only real tech to this fight is if you let him just stand there without getting close to him, he kind of just like stomps a bit before charging at you. But if you walk right up to him immediately, he'll aggro immediately and just start charging, which is a neat little piece of tech.
During this, I actually have 2 more donations. If I can.
Yeah, this fight's pretty straightforward.
So we have $10 from Break the Ice. Shout out to Ice. Yeah, Ice from my chat. She's a homie. Also, $10 from Zans. Zans says, "Odd me, my goat. Thank you for showing off this game, and I bless you with the 90-10 coin flip."
Oh my god. That is something we will get into much later.
Yeah.
But I was gonna save the Zans shout out for later at the end of the run, but we could
shout him out now.
We could talk about Zans for this entire run almost, because he is literally the undisputed GOAT of this game. He, like, my PB for reference, I'm 5th place with a 116. Most of the other top runners are about 116. Rotisserie Sandwich is a really good runner with a 113. Zans has the world record with a 109.55.
He's just so much better.
He's so crazy good at this game. Like, I've watched some of his Vanilla Town stuff. I usually average like around a 9-2x Vanilla Town. His world record gets an 832 or something. It's so dumb.
Yeah,
like,
he's absolutely ridiculous. But he's definitely like put in the time, the effort. He's such like he's genuinely a pillar of the community. Helps out all the runners with stuff.
Yeah,
he's a great guy. Shout out to Zans.
And it's cool too because I was never really, I knew Billy, I found out that Zans ran Billy Hatcher before he moved on to Penny. I didn't really know who he was until I discovered him through Penny, and now he's like a regular in me and M's chats when we play whatever.
Yeah.
He's still a huge fan of Penny, obviously.
Yeah, of course. No, he's just down to game. He's a gamer.
Yeah, and he ran, did he run regular Sonic 06 or Project 06?
Regular 06, regular 06.
Yeah, he's
doing Silver Story on that.
He's moved into the Sonic community pretty well.
Yeah.
I guess the Penny community, when it first started out, it's a bit smaller now, but when it first started, there were a lot of Sonic runners coming in, which was really cool, because this was made by the Mania devs. This is World's Edge, by the way. We never really talked about this.
Oh, yeah. World's Edge is a crazy string of levels, very difficult, lots of, let's say, interesting mechanics. Mostly the asteroids and the books.
Books and asteroids. Just get used to it. These suck. The way asteroids work, if you hit them, they kill you.
Yeah,
that's essentially what it is, but basically they just kind of eat your input. Like, if you try to dash into an asteroid, how did I miss that? I just straight up missed that.
I don't know how you missed that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this is also another mechanic, is the torches. If you light all of them, they give you some kind of reward, usually like a fan or a cannon. And these rings here, we saw these in Tides Wall, but these kind of send us upward. Yeah, these cannons are very similar to Kirby, where if you jump in it immediately, it just lights the fuse really fast, which is nice. We actually have a pretty big skip coming up here to beat this level like in just over a minute. This was actually one of the very first zips that was found, I believe, where you could beat this level in literally 30 seconds at the beginning of it. But this is the restricted version of the skip. It's still pretty cool. The zip here is so dumb because it's basically a blind jump.
Yeah, but no zips required here. You can just see how much of the level we're skipping off to the side. We got to be very careful there not to land too low on the tree because the kill plane does reach up there. And nice, yeah, we're in the clear.
Pretty good World's Edge so far. That was a bit of a scuff 6-2, but yeah, World's Edge, just like the books, how they work is you hit them and they open up and become a platform for you. They also love to just not work.
Yeah, a lot of times what can happen is you throw out the yo-yo and it can get latched onto the back part of it, which one of the things that we haven't talked too much about is that the yo-yo can be used to save yourself. If you throw the yo-yo above a ledge, a lot of times it will snap the ledge and pull Penny back up. So if you're like just barely short of a jump, it can help save you. But what it does is it attaches to the back of the book and vaults you upwards away from the portal. So it can get really frustrating.
Yeah, 6-3 is a bit more chill than the previous two levels. 6-4 is going to be kind of a scary one. It's one particular skip, but this is probably the worst section in the game. Thankfully, we can just skip it. Those two books, without that skip, they just suck. They love to just eat all your inputs, especially since there's an asteroid like right between them. Nice little torch skip here, where you just climb up the wall there right after getting the torch. And yeah, these I guess vaulting poles, I guess, they you can kind of manipulate where Penny goes, but most of the time it's best to just hold neutral and go where it takes you. There's some books here.
This section is a little scary. Yeah, going up there is better. Because there's a little baseball thing that's right there. It takes you into like a special area of the world. But it's really easy because it pulls out like a mitt, like a baseball mitt, and it snatches you.
Dude, it's so fast.
It's really fast.
It's so scary.
It's like, I think it's meant to be like that to make sure that the player doesn't miss it. But for our purposes, it's like, it's a trap.
Yeah.
Oh, and this ring of
Oh my
asteroids.
God.
Wow. Okay. Did you
Okay.
double jump? Is that how you got past
I
that?
think I just mashed Y and saved my life.
Yeah. The thing about those asteroids is the hitboxes are very deceiving. They're huge asteroids, but it's even the hitboxes are even more huge.
Get out of the way. Gosh. Yeah, so I guess we never talked about the denizens. They're pretty cute NPCs, and sometimes they have little side quests for you to do. Like in 5-1, you got to return some soap to his stinky friend.
Yeah. That's funny.
They got some pretty weird stuff sometimes, and their dialogue can be pretty humorous too. Like in I think it's 3-4, one of them's looking off into the distance. Like, is Mr. Q building electricity too?
What's so great about Mr. Q? Is he making electricity too? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
6-4 is another one of my favorite levels. It does have kind of a tough skip about towards the middle of it. Rare instance of the asteroid not instantly killing me. It just kind of let me dash. And I guess we'll get introduced to bombs here. These are sometimes on a cycle. It's kind of weird. We'll see more in Industrial when we get there, but bombs, they basically just shoot out and you hit them at these bricks and they will break instantly. And we can just go.
You gotta be careful not to get too close to them in the air, because if I had one time where it just like basketball, it was bouncing on my head and it pushed me away and I died.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a skip here. That's skipping this checkpoint. It doesn't really matter too much because the checkpoint I just got is like about 10 seconds away. But I'm gonna swing up here, and this should be able to skip like this entire cannon section. Oh,
Nice. Very good. Yeah, that skips having to light the torch and
Oh my
getting into the cannon and stuff like that. So.
No, it's pretty much the straight shot here at the very end.
Yeah, actually, I do have a couple more donations if I could read during this time. Yeah. We have Zark the Pirate with $10.
Let's go.
Oddme the Goat on the Sticks. Sick Run. Also, who's this M guy on comms? All right, man. Hurtful.
Yeah, his PB is like 7 minutes worse than mine.
All right,
I don't
man.
know what he's doing here.
Okay, all right. He's right, though. All right, and then we also have a $50 donation from Panza.
Panza.
Our goat. Let's get it, Oddme.
Nice. Oh, yeah. So this is a bit awkward. The community, this character's official name is Taboo. We just refer to her as Mother.
Well, some of us.
She may or may not be my split background when I run this game.
Yeah, so I
What's
forget the exact.
What's the Taboo lore?
The exact. We find out that Taboo used to be performing partners with the Emperor back in the day, and basically while you're talking to the other bosses that you fought after, because like we said, Penny kind of befriends the bosses. Oh.
Wow. Okay. I love slopes in this game. Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of, wow, I'm all the way back here. That's crazy. I'll probably still beat the puppet's ass though. But yeah, Taboo is basically Eddie's performing partner, and they kind of have a falling out of sorts, and now all the bosses are like, you gotta speak to Taboo, she'll get you back, or something.
Yeah, you gotta get, basically, they're like, you gotta get the band back together.
Yeah, and then this boss, it's not really a boss, we're kind of just racing. It's kind of like Sonic CD, where you race Metal Sonic, except she makes a puppet of Penny. And you not only have to win the race, but you have to get more coins than the puppet. So there's a bit of routing that goes into this. It's mostly just get as many coins as you can along the way. I am really short on coins because the puppet will pick up ones as well, as you can see on the counter on the right. So anything you get, the puppet will not be able to get. So you kind of have to stay ahead of it the whole time. I am really close with the puppet right now. I gotta make sure I'm playing this pretty safe.
You're fine.
As long as
the song also bangs.
Hello.
Whoa. That's a lot of speed, man.
Okay. If it managed to get 5 coins in those 2 seconds, I was gonna be so mad. All right.
Aw, dude.
I refer to this place as hell.
Yeah, it's a cold place though.
Yeah.
Not a hot one.
I could probably talk a bit for 7-1 and probably 7-2 since it's really short. But Pangaville is just skip central. We do not play these levels the normal way at all.
No.
As you can see, we are going to the right when this is kind of not what should be happening here. And I'm going to wall kick up here, and hopefully I do this right. Sometimes my fingers will just fidget, and I will do the wrong inputs for the wall kick.
Yeah, you have to be very particular with your action order as you're trying to perform these skips here.
Yeah, right here. We just go to the right here, and yeah, this is the goal.
Yeah, that's the stage.
That's one. That's one down. That's probably the easiest one out of all of them, honestly. 7-2 is probably the shortest level in the game, restricted. We can beat it in under 20 seconds, but it's a really hard skip. You gotta like have very precise wall jump movements, and
Yeah, when you approach it here, you actually have to kind of approach it at an angle to where Penny still gets enough height to like obviously to make it over, but she needs to get enough height and also be able to wall kick off of the waterfall here. Then perform a sleep bounce. Let's see. Nice. Okay, let's go.
Okay, we made it. We're safe.
Awesome.
All right, I'm not talking. 7-3 is the hardest level in the game, in my opinion. It is so scary.
Especially at 60 FPS.
It's about, yeah, it's about a minute long. It's one big skip where you're riding on water all the time, and if I mess up anything towards the end, I lose a minute. So M can probably explain more as I'm going, but I just I gotta lock in.
It's definitely a lot of focus. It's not too crazy though. We're just gonna go off to the right here because you know why not? You can see that it's very similar to the other stages. It like wraps around, so we're just cutting the line, going over and re-riding, and very conveniently there is a spot for us to hop off right now.
Yeah, it's kind of like the intended path, but we're about to ditch it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Pangaville's got great music at least.
Yeah,
when you're going insane.
That is one of the downsides is we end up not getting to listen to this song for too long. So again, we're doing a big re-ride here. I'm
playing it safe.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's slow.
That's fair.
I just want to live.
Yeah, if you kind of like go for a swing a little too quickly, Penny can easily drop into the water, and it's not like the sand. It's not forgiving. If you fall in, you fall in. So.
Oh my god. I was like a frame away. So we're not done. We got a wall kick. Yes.
Yeah, let's go. Good stuff, dude.
Yeah, that was probably the hardest level in the whole. I'm so glad that's over.
Yeah.
My main worries for this run were surviving Vanilla Town and surviving 7-3.
Yeah, I mean, this is by far, especially like in an event like this, no reset. Terrifying.
Yeah, Penny's a rough no reset game, man. I was doing tons of no resets leading up to this event, and it's looking pretty dicey, my sub 120 goal. But honestly, if I can still get like a decent time, I'm happy. Like if I can beat M's PB, like.
Hey man. Wow. Give me on the stakes. I'll race you.
So yeah, we got Industria here. I almost fell asleep. Sorry.
Yeah, see, the thing about Industria is we get a couple of new mechanics that get thrown in. Like, we have the magnets, as you saw there.
It is probably the most restricted stage of the entire.
Yeah, there's not as many like big like glamorous skips. There's a couple of small ones, right?
Yeah.
We go over a couple of breakable walls instead of using the bombs, just to save a bit of time. But it is a pretty big, like, straight shot, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, that's not always a bad thing, but with the way Industria is just laid out and the magnet mechanics, these are awful, by the way. I'm not a big fan of the magnets at all. I actually didn't hit the ceiling there for once in my life. That, like, always happens to me. But yeah, the magnet is pretty much what you think it is. You just hit one of those little beams and it drags you in whatever direction it wants you to go. And we got some conveyor belts here. We saw these a little bit in Zafara, but not very long.
Yeah, just some new obstacles here.
Again, I mean, I sound like a broken record if I say a song's a banger and Penny's Big Breakaway. Honestly, Vanilla Town was probably the lowest point of the soundtrack. It's still alright.
Dude, I really like it. It's just we have to play it so much.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
It's just so annoying when you're always playing Vanilla Town, especially for top runners like Zans. Like,
oh yeah,
he does so much crazy stuff in Vanilla Town.
No, wait, Zans loves Vanilla Town. That's his favorite stage.
All right, little nice skip coming up here.
Yeah, so that's. Oh. Nice, very good.
Let's go.
That's one of the things you can do with the magnet is like you can gain a little bit of height by spamming there at the top. And so Admi did that to get over to land on the arch.
on purpose or accidental height gain. It just loves to happen sometimes. You just can't get off the magnetic attraction sometimes. But pretty solid. As long as I can get this, okay.
Nice. Yeah.
Good 8-1. 205's not bad.
Well done. I actually have another donation here.
Okay.
$10 from Aspen.
Hi, Aspen.
So happy to see this game make it to the big screen. Patiently awaiting peak 11-4 from the crowd.
Yeah, I love 11-4. That's my favorite level in the game.
Shout out to Aspen.
Yeah. Aspen's in the crowd right now. And so is this fly that came right into my face.
Whoa.
So now we got a demolition derby up here, as you'll see. Lots of explosions. We can just skip right over this one, though. Just gonna be a lot of bombs, a lot of TNT. We're just blowing stuff up as we go.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the other things, too, is occasionally, we don't really, I think, have to do it for the rest of the stage, but there are those light bulbs that you can break to break some of the electric barriers that are, like, in your way or on the poles. But obviously, you can see we can skip basically all of them.
Hopefully,
so not a big deal.
should get top path here. If I don't, it's not that big a deal, but it would be nice to see it. Nice. Okay.
Good.
If you miss that, you basically just have to go the bottom route. It's, like, so slow to back it up.
Yeah.
Now we're up here, we can just do some nice little swings to jump off this thing. I always forget how big that hitbox is, so that roof.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're coming into kind of where bombs play a bit bigger of a role. This one is so annoying because that,
dude,
it just loves to not go straight.
Yeah, it's annoying
Oh
to try to get the cycle too, as you saw there. Yeah,
Come on.
I was about to mention that as well.
I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind, dude. If you don't get this instantly, it's just like worse.
Yeah.
You just gotta wait, and you're on a conveyor belt, so you have to keep Penny moving.
Yeah.
And we can kind of just cheese this dynamite here because the fan is still active.
Yeah, there's a fan under that block, and if Penny is just close enough to the block, the wind properties still knock her upwards.
Yeah, we got a nice other checkpoint here. Very nice because this, like, Industria has some of the longest stretches in the game without checkpoints, so it's nice that we get one like kind of towards the end.
Yeah, I will say though, even though it is like that, it doesn't feel as like terrifying.
Yeah, and while that thing I just rode on looked a bit cinematic, you can just go there. And now we're coming up on a pretty sick zipline skip right at the end. This is one of my favorites. Did I get it? Nice.
Nice.
All right.
That was sick, yeah.
And that is Industria, except for the worst boss in the history of all Penny's Big Breakaway anything. I hate this boss.
Yeah, so here's our other instance of RNG.
Yes. So Mr. Q, we could kind of manipulate his RNG. It's still a bit dependent. Like, he'll lose you some time, but this guy, there's no strats for him. It's just a Pango bot that loves to attack you, and then after he attacks you, he'll drop a magnet, and he'll summon a magnetic field. And yeah, grab the magnet. Catch is, it's completely random where he spawns it. Okay, this is good.
Wow, okay. Actually, I'm looking on the smaller screen here. I thought that was further away. That's good.
Yeah, sometimes it'll spawn right next to you, and other times it'll be on the opposite end of the field, and you just can't grab it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't hit him in time with the one cycle, he'll attack again, and then you just have to wait for him to open up.
Yeah, if you noticed, when he does an attack, that magnetic force field around him goes down.
Oh,
so
come
then,
on, grab it, Penny. That's not working.
So then you can't hit him. See? Yeah, you just have to sit here and wait.
And you really have to rush the magnet grab too, so sometimes he'll just move too fast, and you won't be able to grab it.
What I will say is pretty often the RNG isn't that bad, but it is still possible to lose like a solid chunk of time here.
Letting him hit me there was definitely RNG manipulation. Watch this. Fuck. Alright, well, I still got 2 1 cycles on him, so that was good.
Yeah, nice.
And now, I have a love-hate relationship with the next world we're coming up to. I like to say Lawberry is my favorite world. I love to say it's my least favorite.
Lawberry's pretty fun.
It is very fun. It's
I like
just,
9-1 a lot.
It's so tilting sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, this is obviously, you can tell, very law-based, because in this point in the story, we're going to Judge Rufus, I guess, to just plea our case, I guess, and clear our name.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't really understand his role super greatly, other than it's just kind of, I mean, he works for Emperor Eddie, of course. And I guess he's just another guy that's out to get you. You know.
He's just one of the ops, man.
He's one of the ops.
He's just an op. And yeah, Lawberry's another lava-based level. It's not nearly as present as Molto Bene, but it can still screw you up sometimes.
Yeah.
Nice little ticket skip here. We only ride like one of those in the entire run, and it's in 9-2. It's pretty cool that we can skip those because they are just auto-scrollers.
Yeah, they're just auto-scroller sections. Yeah, it's super dope that we actually get to skip most of them, thankfully. It's the same thing, like, it's similar to a zip line, except that you can't grab those the little ticket things like further in. You have to get it from the start. So
yeah, so coming up right at the end here, I'm going to grab a power-up that we only use here called the Endurian. Basically what this does is it makes Penny invulnerable to anything, including lava. And it lets us ride on lava indefinitely until it runs out, basically. So as long as I don't hit anything, we should just be able to cruise right to the end. It's really nice.
It's really interesting how this works, too, because it's not that necessarily... Like, Penny can still fall in. It's just that now her yo-yo properties don't make it so that she falls off of the lava after the, like, 2 seconds that she normally would. And yeah, really solid.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm glad I got the Endurian strat, because in one of my runs recently, I bonked on something, and I was like, oh, it's over.
Oh, yeah. That's tough. At least, thankfully, there is a checkpoint right before the Endurian, so you can reattempt it. It doesn't feel great.
Yeah, 9-2's got a pretty big skip at the start, but after that, it's kind of just like goes normal way. But we are going off to the right here. Should be good. Okay. A bit slow, but... Yeah, the disadvantage to double jumping, although it's much safer with landing on lava and water and all that, it is very slow. It slows you down a lot when you're riding.
It is very slow, yeah. Ideally, you want to keep as much speed as possible, but in order to like make sure that you don't fall into the lava.
I'm getting this.
Yeah, no,
Marathon run, I'm not trusting.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Yeah, these little things I'm riding on here, they also hurt you. They're not really like lava, really. They just do some damage. And sometimes their properties can be weird. Also, most unnecessary skip in the game here. You can just fall.
Nah, it's cool.
You can just fall off that corner and die, but we do it anyway. This is the only ticket we ride in the entire game, and we just kind of chill. I like letting a penguin grab me here sometimes, because when you go upside down like that, he just falls off.
Oh, that's funny, actually. I didn't know that.
All right, and now that we're in this final section, there's rising and falling lava here, and we're going to do a little skip here to kind of just skip a little bit. It kind of just takes it to like a secret path. I never really talked about the showpieces yet. They're kind of similar to the task that the denizens have for you. You just collect all of them. You unlock levels called Star Globes, which are just bonus levels essentially. Really short, like mini challenges. Em has not played any of them.
I have not played them actually. Yeah, I didn't get all the showpieces.
Yeah, I mean,
just wanted to get into speedrunning any person.
Some of them are really cryptic. Like, they're in weird spots. Like, there's one in 3-4 that I remember hunting down. It's, like, below the stairs in some part of the level, and it took me forever to find. 9-3, it skipped the level.
It is skipped the level.
It's 7-3, but not as ridiculous.
It is very straightforward. We're just going to be re-riding all the way to the end over here off to the left. However, there is going to be a big drop here. Runners can choose. I assume Oddme will play this safe and double jump.
I'm double jumping.
Yeah.
I do this even in regular. Wow. This game is great.
That's kind of a little bit of a robbery.
But yeah, I double jump there just because, like, even in real attempts, it's just too scary, man.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Honestly, hey, that's the FPS buff.
All right, man. All right.
I'm just saying, I don't have to think about it. I just swing.
All right, this one works, surely. I never mess this up twice.
Nice.
And I wanted to go right up against that wall there because it will change my camera to make sure I actually know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is a blind ride to the end.
It's extremely important. It makes this level a lot more bearable. But you got to be really careful because you can be too close and bonk the wall, and you can be too far and not hit the trigger. So.
More double jumps. We're playing it safe. As long as I make it on this ledge, we should be good. All right, we're safe.
Nice, yeah. That's the end of the level. 46 seconds.
Yeah, that death was really unfortunate, but we got second try.
Yeah.
I got 7-3, man. I'm good.
That's what you do. That was the one thing.
Yeah.
You're chilling now. You're coasting.
Yeah. And now we got the boss, Judge Rufus himself. I'm sure Ace Attorney fans will love this guy. He's just a maniac judge. And what we're trying to do here, I'm gonna have to restart maybe a few times because grabbing his gavel like early is really tough. It has a weird hitbox. There we go. Let's not restart that time.
Yeah. I was like, wait, you got it.
Yeah, grabbing it like you can skip cutscenes basically instantly in this game. Oh, I forgot to. Oh, I got it.
What? How did you get that?
I'm just goaded.
All right. You know what? We won't question it, man.
Intended.
We take what we can get.
But yeah, basically you just want to grab his gavel early, and I usually make that easier with the sleep bounce. Got it there.
You basically can snatch it as soon as he pulls it up, and it makes this fight very quick, as you can see.
All right, time for the worst world in the game. A lot of the community does not like Gala Knight.
Yeah, Gala Knight is one of those stages where, you know, this is a very vertical stage, and, you know, Penny is very good at the horizontal movement, keeping her speed, clearing large gaps, and but you can't really do that when you have to go up. So
yeah, and one thing I never really actually realized, besides the music, you're basically just revisiting Vanilla Town at night. It's just tricked out, basically.
Yeah.
And the music is a really good remix of Vanilla Town.
Yeah, I love the Gala
It's
Knight
awesome.
remix.
I always get tried to post Nessie here. It's such a Nessie song.
One of the things that you can notice too is that this is Vanilla Town, but they've added some of the mechanics from the other stages. Like these are obviously from Bubbling. This is like stuff from Industria.
Oh, come on. Yeah, it's kind of just like a test of everything you've learned up to this point. And we can skip this zip line, but it is one of the hardest because the camera will just not let you. Like it is refusing to let you skip.
Yeah, and you saw that. I mean, that wasn't really that much time, but the zip lines are pretty cool.
If there's ever an opportunity to skip a zip line, we try to take it. If it's not like
it does have a
insane.
really cool camera though. I love
Yeah.
the cinematic camera, at least casually.
Yeah, and these little things here, they just kind of spiral upward and take us higher. Hello. Okay, we're good. That ramp there can be really jank sometimes, but not too big of a deal. Okay. Gonna go for zipline skip here. This one's really slow. I'm probably gonna end up grabbing it. Let's see. No.
Oh, the
Wow.
slope, dude. They caught the yo-yo.
Slopes, man.
Yeah.
This isn't like too bad, I think.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, we should do it. Gala Knight. There's so much. I feel like Gala Knight is peak jank. Penny. There's so much.
It
that goes
is,
on
yeah,
here.
and like it also has those bungee wires there. Like those can be really buggy sometimes.
There we go.
There,
That's
yeah.
good. Yeah, that
Safety.
zip line is really short, but it's also very. It might be one of the slowest zip lines in the game, despite how short it is. Just gonna go over this screw here.
Oh yeah, it's got the screws too. It just that's the one thing that's cool about Gala Knight is it brings like everything together.
Yeah, everybody's getting ready for the gala at night.
Nice.
Honestly, aside from that death, not too bad.
Not too bad.
10-2 is honestly what I'm more worried about, especially the beginning. The beginning of 10-2 is like one of the hardest parts of the game.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird vertical gauntlet where if you make any mistake, you're dying. And there's no checkpoints for a while.
You chill if I read a donation?
Yep.
Awesome. We have a $20 donation from Draco. Draco5467. Let's go, Oddme. Penny is just a great speed game, and you are making it look effortless.
Thank
Shout
you,
out,
Draco.
Draco.
In the crowd, I believe, as well.
Yes, Draco's in the crowd.
Alright. Yeah, that's kind of the end of the beginning of 10-2. That's what I was most worried about, honestly. There's still some weird stuff coming up here, but not too bad. And this is actually where probably the one achievement, if you play this game casually, you probably had the hardest time finding, the secret penguin room. It's at the very end of this level. I will try to show it off and hopefully not die.
Oh, yeah, good luck.
I
I mean, if you take a death, it's not too bad. Because
Yeah.
there's a checkpoint right there, so.
And it is actually technically faster to go to the penguin room. It's just nobody likes doing it.
Yeah, it's just the slightest bit faster, and, you know, even people like Zand will be like, nah, I'm not doing that.
A lot of height here. It's so satisfying just getting a crazy amount of height. You just drop like a rock and then it goes shooting straight back up. Hello, grab. Depth perception, man.
That was wild.
Not my best.
Honestly, I thought that looked good too.
Oh, I'm glad I got that. I mean, that checkpoint's nice to have, but there's one literally right up here. You can't really die in this spot.
It always confused me why there is a checkpoint there.
Maybe for that thing we just passed. I think that's a showpiece.
Oh, okay.
I'm not what you're writing for, dude.
No,
I've fallen
it's
through
not
the
worth
wall
it.
so many times. All right, so penguins are gonna burst out of the room here. Let's see if I can get it.
Right there on the right.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Penguin room. And that takes you right there. Otherwise, you just kind of ride up to the top and then swing over to the goal. So it's not a huge time save, but
it's
gotta
super
show off the penguin
small.
room.
Yeah.
There's your how to find the penguin room tutorial for any big breakaway.
I missed it. I didn't even know that room was there after even ILing the stage for a bit.
Yep. And now we're on to the final world editorium. This is probably some of the longest stages in the game, except for this one.
Except for this one, yeah. This one, there's a very big skip.
Yeah, the first variant of this was actually a zip, and we were like, oh god, zip's taken over again. And like a day later, a restricted version was found, and all was healed.
Yeah, and then we found ways to make it even easier once we found out about stalling in the air with the like. Penny can throw out her yo-yo, which she has a lot of speed, and maintain the speed for longer than if she didn't throw out the yo-yo. So Abi is
no
here.
checkpoint. 'Cause I'm goated.
All right, you got it, man. This is looking good.
Nice. Oh.
Very good, yeah. Yeah, that jump can be a bit scary, but the way that we do it now, we make sure that Penny has a lot of access to resources at the end. You saw that he could still dash, double jump.
Yeah, I actually used to do a method where you dash and then just go, because I was horrible at the stalling until I just sat down and practiced it for a little bit.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but it is a weird timing kind of thing to get used to.
Yeah, 11-2 is when we get... Actually, there's still more new mechanics in this world. The tubas and the red carpets. I will try to do as much carpetless as I can.
Yeah, ideally we want to avoid those. Just skip the gaps. And sometimes we'll skip the gaps halfway through, like right here. Instead of going around, obviously we're just going to go across right here, get a bunch of speed. Nice.
Yeah, Editorium, definitely one of my favorite worlds as well. It's just, it can be so frustrating because the levels are so long and they have like pretty long stretches without checkpoints.
Yeah.
Especially the end of 11-2. I choked my first sub 120 here. It was brutal.
Yeah.
It was so rough.
Editorium's cool though. I think it's a very like deserving like final world.
Oh, and the music, oh my
yeah,
god.
It's sick.
A Penny song is good.
Wow, big surprise.
Yeah, honestly, Vanilla Town just being a little bit annoying is probably the worst I can say about this soundtrack. Like,
oh yeah, I mean it's banger after banger. Amazing.
Bit safe here. And I'm gonna be doing some rooftop strats coming up pretty soon. Okay. That magnet can be really annoying. But right here we're gonna be getting a lot of speed, so we can go up on the roof and skip basically a lot of the level.
Yeah, this part can be a little bit dicey.
We're obviously not done, and this is all without a checkpoint. There was one down there, but
yeah, I've definitely taken some heartbreaking deaths here in this level. Right in this section. Nice.
Okay. And just one more.
Playing it safe there. I respect that.
Yep. And just shoot us out here, and then we can go get a burger. And we'll just maul through these penguins here.
Oh yeah, one thing that they have in Editorium is the really big penguins.
I wish someone would hug me like those penguins.
The big penguins count as the big penguins count as multiple penguins, so
yeah,
they're a little bit more scary to be around.
That was a good 11-2 though.
Nice.
Pretty clean.
Yeah. All right, we have 2 more stages coming up, and then the final boss.
Yep. Going Penguin Road skip, man. We'll see what happens.
Oh, let's go.
I gotta do it in marathon. Yeah, 11-3, Razzle Dazzle. This is a pretty straightforward level. There's some neat skips towards like the beginning of it. Actually, the fastest way to do this beginning part is to go to the left there, but you have to do it like really fast, otherwise it doesn't really save too much time. So we're just going over here, and it basically just drops you off right at this ring. The skip.
Yeah, that makes sense. Avoid the magnet. It can be a little bit finicky to grab it. Dude, that penguin was in the air. Did you see that? I've never seen him that high. Maybe I just never paid attention to him jumping right there.
I don't know. The penguins are doing their own thing most of the time. They hardly care about penguins. Like, look at these guys.
I love them, dude. I love them so much.
Nice little skip here. It's crazy how after playing this game for over an hour, it's still just satisfying to get a big swing.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the beauty of Penny, which we haven't really talked about. I guess like a lot of the general stuff, just because there's stuff to talk about like in each world. But Penny, like when you start playing it, Penny feels a little bit slow and weird. She like controls a lot differently than other like characters in 3D platformers. But once you start to string everything together, it's just some of the most satisfying movement.
Goodbye,
in, like,
Penguin.
any game.
The Penguin got launched. Kind of a weird cycle on the nets. I guess we never talked about the nets because we never hit them. If you hit them, they just trap you, and it gives an opportunity for the penguins to catch you. And you have to jump like 5 times to get out of them.
Yeah,
Really annoying
they're
for runs.
extremely frustrating to run into. Luckily, for the most part, dealing with the cycles are pretty manageable. It's just like, I think they're more of a problem when it comes to like ILs when you're trying to squeeze out as much time as possible. And you might have to like barely swerve around one of them.
Pretty weird dodging lava here. Those fire bars can be a bit jank, but pretty decent. Just pretty much the end of the level, just right to the end.
Yeah.
Pretty good editorium so far. This is good. Just goes to show how good my golds are, because I haven't golded anything here so far. Editorium is definitely one of the levels I practice the most, just because every level is so long. And honestly, I'm a big fan of full game runs, just because there's more room for error. And that's kind of how I feel about the Editorium ILs, because they are a bit longer. And you still want to play perfect in an IL, because it's like 2 minutes long. But especially for 11-4, the best level in the game, by the way. This is about 3 minutes long if you're like rounding up. It takes me about 240 usually. It's a rough one sometimes, but it's so fun to grind. My hands were dust after an entire day of 11-4 pretty much. This game is pretty rough on the hands sometimes. Even if you're just pressing like 2 buttons, it can be.
It's just, I mean, you have to move Penny along with the camera too a lot, so your left thumb is getting the workout too. I feel like honestly, that's the thumb that hurts me the most compared to like doing like the dashes and stuff.
Neat little skip run up here, skip this carpet, and then we'll launch off of this and just go over here. This is probably one of the most annoying tasks in the entire game, because this dude talking about like the ice, the text blocks like what's up ahead, so it's very hard for me to see what's happening up until this carpet, and then it kind of gets a bit easier to see. And this is probably one of the longest stretches of that checkpoint. It is pretty rough. If you die. Tried to do a sleep bounce there.
Yeah.
One of the few times where it's faster to wall jump rather than just riding it.
Get a nice swing around the corner there, get a bunch of speed.
Showpiece. Going towards that 100% run. That's not happening. I've already missed 2.
Nah, we could do it.
I missed a few.
We might just have to extend the estimate to the way long.
Yeah, to the real estimate I submitted of like 2 hours. People have actually, I think Rotisserie and Zan's been routing 100% quite a lot, and they've gotten it down to a 157. They might have already been improving it, which is pretty cool.
That is really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Zand is kind of like the go of this game, but Rotisserie is he's so good.
Rotisserie is definitely a gamer.
Like I was kind of playfully shitting on him because he got like a 117 and I bopped him, and he stuck with that PB for a while, and like a week later he pops out a 113. I'm like, I hate this.
He's just really good. I mean, he's more IL focused, so.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, if you're a huge IL runner and you can be consistent, and you put that all into a full game run, you just crush everyone.
Yeah.
And right here we got the half pipe skip, pretty much the last big skip in this game. Normally you gotta do a whole lot of stuff. You dodge that penguin ball, ride the half pipe, take a huge tuba trip, and then you just take one last burger and a zip line. But we can literally just skip all of that by going over here. And this is where the tuba drops you off, but we
it
can
takes
just
a
jump
long
here.
time for the tuba to get here.
And our last zip line of the run. That was a pretty good 11-4. Good editorium.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Well done. And now we're moving on to the final boss.
Yeah, so yeah, Zan's kind of jokingly said good luck on the 90-10 coin flip. This is what he was talking about. There is a chance that Eddie gives me good or bad RNG here in the rematch fight. The good RNG is that he will just charge me immediately and I can get an early hit on him. Otherwise, he'll just spawn a bunch of penguins and stuff, and it's really slow. But people say it's a 50-50. No, it's not. I get bad RNG so much more often. Yep, there you go.
There it is.
Shocker, I got good RNG while warming up for this.
Good 90-10 coin.
Yeah, let's hope the bomb is nice at least. Okay. thank
Okay,
God.
good.
that bomb's so annoying because it can bounce off Eddie if you don't hit it in time. It's so obnoxious. I think I'm just gonna let him do his thing because sometimes it's a bit faster to hit him with your yo-yo and just cancel him immediately. But man, he's just so rude to just knock you off the stage, and it resets his health. So you gotta really pay attention. Alright. Now we just do some Bowser throws here by spinning a lot. And we're totally done. That's it. Definitely.
Sort of.
Yeah. So there is one last skip coming up here called Penguin Road Skip. And what's going to happen after this is Eddie and Taboo want to put on a crazy show for Penny and take her down. So they form this giant Eddie mech thing, and they form this big Penguin Road. And Mr. Q provides Penny with one last dash pepper. And normally you gotta ride this whole thing. It's kind of just an auto-scroller, and you go right to face off against the Eddie bot. However, there is a skip about halfway through this. I'm gonna go for a once because I have 2 health, and if I die, I have to refight Eddie. I don't want to do that. So, what's gonna happen here is I'm gonna jump off this slope and swing all the way to the opposite end if I get enough height. Yes, that's it. Let's go.
Penguin Road Skip in the first marathon run? That's so sick, dude.
I'm so glad I got that. Was like the last thing I was worried about. I was like, I better hit this, man.
Yeah.
It was something I completely forgot to practice too. Like as we were setting up for this run, I was like, I kind of need to do this, don't I?
No, you didn't.
But yeah, that skip is it had some crazy development because Zan's kind of found sort of a setup for it, and we were like, dude, nobody's doing this runs. Like it looks too stupid. And then we just found out that the way to get to the wafer is like right behind your spawn, so you can just get enough height. Now we just jump here, and this will be the end of the game. However, timing will end after I skip the cutscene after this mech is destroyed. So, not quite a 119. I'm getting like barely a 120. Not the first time this has happened to me, but you know what? For a marathon run, it's pretty good.
Solid, man.
With the mistakes that were made, it's not bad. So time is coming up pretty close here. Once I skip, and time.
GG, dude.
120.03, of course, man. Of course.
Ooh, almost up to 120.
Oh my god.
Good stuff,
Holy
dude.
shit.
I mean, it can't be understated, dude, that some of those tricks that you have to hit for a marathon run are really tough.
Yeah, this game's
you,
crazy.
You clutched up, man. This game is hard.
Oh my god. Honestly, I lived through Vanilla Town, I lived through 7-3, and most of Multibene, so we're good.
No, you hit all the high points.
And we get a banger credits theme.
I love
oh
this
my god,
so much.
I cannot stress enough how good of a game this is. If you have not played it, like even casually, if you don't want to like speedrun or whatever, I think you should try it out for speedrunning, even if it's just ILs. But just casually, it's such a satisfying game. If you like 3D platformers at all, just please try it. It's such a good indie game. Like support the devs. It's like maybe 20. It's gonna go on sale on Steam a lot.
Yeah.
It's on every platform pretty much.
Shout out to Evening Star again.
Yeah,
dude.
Evening Star.
They're super great.
Round of applause for Evening Star. I mean,
Yeah,
come on,
please,
they made
yeah.
such an amazing game. But yeah, we do have one last shout out, I guess, for the future. Me and Em are not done with Penny at marathons because at SGDQ 2024, I'm not sure what the final schedule for the run is yet, but Mildew, who is 4th place on the board, his PB's like 5 seconds better. He's not that good.
Whoa, shot.
Yeah, Mildew will be running Penny at SGDQ 2024, and me and Em and King J, who's in the crowd somewhere, I think he's still here. Yeah, he's still here. We will all be commentating that run along with Mildew. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be dope.
Unlike this run, it's going to be pretty early in the morning, so we got to get up pretty early.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, for in the meantime, I'm going to bed because it is so late.
It is late, dude.
Yeah, it's late.
Please check out the Penny Discord.
Yes. Shout outs to Zans again.
Shout outs to Zans again.
All the top players for being such goats and helping each other just discover like so many new strats and stuff. And
Penny is a great community.
yeah, they're working 100% right now, so maybe in the future we'll see 100% at a marathon. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for Penny. Enjoy the rest of Pace. I believe Spyro is up next, if I recall correctly, so that's going to be pretty cool. And honestly, all the graveyard shift runners, you have my respect, because 2 a.m. I was so tired, man. But yeah, that's it for me. I guess Em, you can still shout yourself out. I haven't.
Oh yeah,
I'll save
true.
myself.
Yeah, I'm Emerald. I also speedrun this game a little bit. I'm the backup runner for GDQ, so you know, something happens.
In case something happens, of course.
I wouldn't say anything would.
Nothing will happen to Mildew. He'll be fine.
I think everything is going to go great, and that Mildew is going to be there, but I'll be on the couch.
Yeah.
And I also play, like, you know, Sonic Mario stuff, so.
Yeah. He dabbles in a little bit of Sonic Adventure 2. He got 3rd place at the SA2 LTA last year.
Yeah, I play.
Only the most clutch moment in speedrunning. I mean,
Sonic Adventure 2, I'm extremely biased towards it, but super sick game.
Yeah.
I mostly play that, so you guys can check me out with Emerald on all.
He runs
social
Mario
stuff.
2. He's going for sub 2 120. He's getting there.
One day.
Yeah.
Soon.
In terms of myself, I do run Penny, but I think I'm actually taking a bit of a break after Pace because I got to focus on Mario, which is my main thing. Most people probably know me for the 602, which is a big marathon race where you complete Mario 64, both Galaxy games and Sunshine, all back-to-back, 100%. The 10th anniversary race, because the race started in 2014, 10 years ago, is happening on July 13th, and I'm obviously going to be racing in it. There's 150 people signed up for it, which is the biggest race we've ever had for it by far. So I really hope you tune in for that. It's going to be a great time, but yeah. Enjoy the rest of Pace. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.